AJ Madden here. Let's cover principle number 11, listen, shoot, believe. This is one of our 12 power principles from the book 1% Warrior Leadership, available on Amazon.com and my website, CoachAJMadden.com. Let's jump right into the principle. 3 qualities of elite leadership: being an expert listener, number 1, being a straight shooter, number 2, and being a true believer, number 3. Let's start with being an expert listener. This means being fully present to the person in front of you or the meeting you are in. Right now, I'd like you to rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. How good are you at being an expert listener? That means listening without judgment, listening without interruption, listening without being on your cell phone or your laptop. How good are you at being that expert listener? Not just a listener, but an expert listener. That means asking questions, engaging, listening to learn. That means listening 90% of the time and talking 10% of the time, whether it's in a meeting or a conversation. This is an absolutely crucial trait of elite leaders, because I think about it this way. I already know what I know. I want to know what you know. It's very simple. Don't overcomplicate this. I want to know what you know as a team member in a meeting. What do you know? What do you want to know? What's your number one challenge? Right? How can we make today better than yesterday and tomorrow better than today? Tell me how. Tell me how I can do that for you as an individual, as a team member, and also for the team and the organization. Absolutely crucial trait. 1 to 10, rate yourself. Here's a quote from Daniel Burrus. The answer to your customer, to your spouse or kid, they already know the answer. There's greatness already in us. We just have to pull it out. This is an expert listening mentality. They already know the answer. When someone comes to us with a question, they already know the answer. We just have to listen and then pull that out of them. Pull the answer out of them. Pull that greatness out of them. Quality number 2 of elite leadership: being a straight shooter. This means the ability to challenge people, the ability to set standards and uphold standards, to set high standards and uphold high standards. This means the ability to challenge someone's performance or attitude and say, no, you can do better than that. We can do better than that. Being a straight shooter means always letting people know where they stand. This is one of the most important mindsets in leadership, always letting people know where they stand. There should be no mystery to it. If they're doing an outstanding job or they're doing a job that they can clearly improve on. This also means always letting people know where you stand. This is being a straight shooter. Let people know where you stand on something, where you stand on their position in the organization, their chances of advancement, their need to improve, or their tremendous abilities, which means catching people doing things right as a leader. You want to let someone know where they stand and let them know where you stand. Catch people doing things right. Far too little leaders, not enough leaders, catch people doing things right, and they only want to catch people doing things wrong. This is all being a straight shooter. This is being radically honest. This is telling the truth today. This is addressing the elephants in the room, which are uncomfortable truths that almost no one wants to talk about, but almost everyone knows about. They're aware of them, but almost no one wants to talk about them. This is being fearless in your communication. And all this is doing it in a way that being a straight shooter and still letting people keep their dignity. There's a common phrase in leadership and management: praise in public, criticize in private. Instead of calling people out in a meeting or in front of others, their performance or attitude that needs to be improved, it means doing it one-on-one. Letting that person keep their dignity. Because once you remove someone's dignity publicly, that's very hard to overcome as a leader. There's going to be resentment there for a long time, if not forever. Unless you admit that mistake and apologize, and even then it's tough to come back from. Not impossible. People can forgive. But when you remove someone's dignity in front of others, That's hard for people to forget. That is one thing. If we talk about inversion thinking one thing to stop doing or one thing not to do, it is definitely removing someone's dignity in front of others. That is a big, big deal. And we must avoid that at all costs. So we can still be a straight shooter and be honest with people and also let them keep their dignity. To me, if you cannot be a straight shooter, if you can't uphold high standards, if you can't have difficult conversations, if you can't address the elephant in the room, you are not ready for leadership or management yet. You're disqualified. This is an absolute prerequisite. Upholding the standards and telling the truth today, being able to be a straight shooter. That, if you're not there yet, that's something you absolutely need to work on. And there's some great books out there on being, there's Radical Candor by Kim Scott. There are other books on being, difficult conversations that you can look up. There's all kinds of videos on YouTube. That is a skill. If you have that skill as a manager or leader, where you can shoot straight with people and uphold standards and challenge people directly and address elephants in the room, that makes you an incredibly valuable man or woman in an organization. Adam Grant calls these individuals disagreeable givers. A disagreeable giver is someone who will disagree and will be honest with others, but they're givers at heart. They're doing it out of service. An organization that's filled with disagreeable givers is an organization that has a tremendous chance of achieving high-level success. If you're filled with disagreeable givers, people who are just going to be honest with each other every day and who are doing it out of service to each other, to the organization, to their customers, the sky's the limit for an organization like that. That's a big, big secret of great leadership and great organizations. And Dr. Adam Grant, again, he covers it in a TED Talk. He covers this give and take concept, givers and takers, in a book called Give and Take. There's articles online you can read. If you don't know this concept, I highly suggest that you look it up. It's absolutely brilliant. And full credit goes to Dr. Adam Scott, or I'm sorry, Dr. Adam Grant. Adam Grant, full credit goes to Dr. Grant. Here's a quote on being a straight shooter. To love someone is to tell them the truth, even if you are going to suffer for it. That's by Patrick Lencioni. I'm going to say that again. To love someone is to tell the truth, even if you're going to suffer for it. Our third quality here is being a true believer in others, and that is believing in the greatness of the person that's sitting in front of you, believing in the greatness of your team, believing in the greatness of your organization. There is, in psychology, we have what's called the Pygmalion effect. And that is the effect where if a coach, a parent, a teacher, a manager, a leader, someone in an authority position believes in someone, whether it's a child, a team member, an employee, any of the above, if someone believes in that person, someone from above believes in them, it has an actual effect on their performance. It has a positive effect on their performance. This is one of the most powerful effects in leadership, the Pygmalion effect, the true believer effect. It's just unbelievable. Unfortunately, the inverse is true. If you don't believe in someone, if you don't believe in the team, if you don't believe in that individual, you don't believe in the mission of the organization, the effect of that is exponentially more powerful. You know, as I understand, negativity is 7 times more positive, or 7 times more powerful than positivity. Negativity is 7 times more powerful than positivity. So you need 7 positive interactions to erase 1 negative interaction. So just imagine how much more damaging it is to someone if you don't believe in them, if you don't believe in the organizational mission, if you don't believe in the team. Unbelievably damaging. So Pygmalion effect, that's another one to look up if you're not familiar with that. Absolutely crucial effect for leaders to understand, as well as the give and take concept by Dr. Adam Grant. And here's a quote on being a true believer. People are starving for encouragement and they don't need much. It's by Dr. Jordan Peterson. For each one of these, I'd like you to rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 on being an expert listener, a straight shooter, and a true believer. Rate yourself on how good you are, how effective you are at these 3 qualities, traits. Being a true believer, a straight shooter, an expert listener. How good are you at each one of these? 1 to 10. Take the one you scored yourself the lowest on, and I challenge you to focus on that for the next 30 to 90 days, raising that score up. Because these are crucial energies for leaders, crucial qualities, crucial traits, each one. So rate yourself scale 1 to 10. Take the one you scored the lowest on, focus on this for the next 30 to 90 days. It will have a tremendous effect on your impact, positive impact as a leader. If you found this video useful, please click like and subscribe. If you found it helpful, please share it with someone else you believe will also find it helpful. This is all from 1% Warrior Leadership. This is 20 years plus of my experience all poured into one book. It's a quick, easy read. And I know no matter what level of leadership you're at, whether you're a beginner or you're well experienced, I know you'll find many useful concepts, tools, strategies, mindsets in this book. I wish everyone success and happiness, and I challenge you to be an expert listener, be a straight shooter, and be a true believer for your team members and your organization.